All right, another short one at a spot where we can kind of see a little bit here. So we're facing south. Turn quickly, make you sick. This is the low area here. Allegedly, again, the 10th Mississippi moved across this from this direction, or Haffendorfer's got them moving more coming from the south, more in a northerly direction. The stockade and the entrenchments are over in that high ground on the other side of those little stand of trees. But when Ketchum's 4-gun artillery battery comes up, they deploy on the high ground, and I think they deploy initially on the high ground where the woods are today. That's that batch of woods where my finger's pointing to. Then later in the fight, those sections will split. I think the 6-pounders go over to the east and go eventually to the Woodson House to support the assault on Fort Craig. And then I think the 12-pounders will wind up coming to this set of heights. There's a knob around the corner. There's no way they went that far. I think they came up to this next set. And this is where then I think the 10th Mississippi is going to wind up being. So 10th Mississippi is going to probably be, oh boy, my hand right in your way, coming right at us from this angle. So this is too sharp. That might be too straight up along the railroad. Of course, then again, the 10th Mississippi might have used the railroad to right guide on. Most likely, maybe they did. But anyway, the 10th Mississippi will come up and they'll try to assault the entrenchments and the stockade, and they will run into trouble. Colonel Robert Smith is killed or mortally wounded. Sorry if I had that wrong. Other officers are dropping like flies. And then the 44th Mississippi will be sent coming up along the railroad to come up and support against the stockade again as well. Neither regiment is successful. They'll wind up pulling back eventually. And that kind of takes care of the fighting on this flank on September 14th. Now, there's supposed to be a patch of woods farther to the south where the Indiana boys would be out there skirmishing initially. I want to say like the 89th Indiana, 84th, 89th. We'll have like a company out there. One source says those guys are unarmed. They're not even carrying small arms. They'll be supported by a couple other companies from other Indiana regiments in a patch of woods. I think the patch of woods is probably that other tree line on the other side of the fence. You see our fence is close. You've got the field and there's another patch of woods. That's probably where these Indiana skirmishers were coming, were initially deployed, and they'll get pushed back. On the fighting on September 16th, it's very similar in some aspects. Indiana troops will be out skirmishing, and then they'll get pushed back to these works. And then, that unique situation where Wilder gets to inspect late at night in the dark, late at night, the amount of Confederate artillery that's deployed. Hardee's wing is on this side of the river. Polk has crossed the Green River a few miles to our east or upriver, and he's on the north side. He's on the Munfordville side with more artillery, numerous guns, facing off against probably, 5,000 or so Federals by that point. Some reinforcements have arrived for the Federals, but not enough to face off against Mr. Bragg's Army of the Mississippi. Again, I think the 10th Mississippi is probably going more this way towards the entrenchments and then the stockade in that direction. I don't think they're coming that sharp. I could have that wrong. I don't think they're coming quite that sharp. And I don't think, not necessarily coming straight north. Again, there's the high ground in the back where Ketchum will, not Ketchum, Garrity is actually in charge of the battery, will deploy the 12-pounders after initially deploying farther down. Anyway, next video is at the Smith Monument.